Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Halo.
Tak ada.
Bukan DK Barat
Bukan. Kita podcast back.
Welcome back
Yes,
to
selamat
our
kembali.
part 2 with our main sponsors.
Yes, Byte Realtors.
Siapa-siapa inginkan hikmah jual beli rumah. Okay, and asset progression which we gonna talk about it later after this. Okay, after our shout out. So, siapa-siapa yang ingin tahu lebih lanjut about asset progression, please do contact them at
9112-1222.
Lagi sekali
ya. 9112-1222.
Okey, podcast ini juga ditaja oleh Two Brothers Motor. Two Brothers Motor, siapa nak beli kereta, jual kereta, consign kereta, tengok kereta, tengok motor. Sekarang orang pun nak jual motor. Bolehlah datang ke Wega Plaza 0454-0455.
Yes.
Sebelum datang, telefon di talian
8755-6205.
Lagi sekali.
Ya, 8755-6205.
Jadi kamu yang kerja memang sebut nombor telefon orang.
Yes, pasal angka-angka ni semua adalah.
Okey, nombor telefon ini bukan untuk anda main 4D, pasal 4D itu haram. Okay, let's listen to our jingle. We'll be coming back. Thank you. Welcome back.
Selamat datang kembali ke podcast ini bersama Byte Realtors.
Yes. Walaupun kita buat terperanjat, Kaedah relax.
Tapi dalam hati dia berdegap-degup kan.
Berdegap-degup jantungku. Bukan
Salah.
Dia tak letup macam mana?
Diam sudah. Okay. So, back to our second part. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so guys, kalau you guys selalu dengar kita punya shout out during our previous episode, alhamdulillah kita selalu cakap pasal asset progression. Pasal aku selalu just sharing with you guys pasal semenjak yang we have our Two Brothers Motor, kita punya partners Cina lah. So dia pernah ada satu apik ni one of them kira sebapak dia. Lu tahu apa boleh bikin ni Singapura ini negeri kecil apa macam mana kita mau bikin duit? Macam cakap apa uncle? Ini batu kat belakang kita. Ini batu boleh bikin banyak duit. So which he meant by
dah macam kasih
property,
syarahan dia.
Which he meant by property. So dari macam kita bila kita jual beli kereta, kita pun nakkan kita punya customer ada a progression in their asset. Macam dorang punya kereta, okay maybe for a start dorang bawa kereta Honda Fit. Maybe a next one kita aim for them to drive a BMW. You know, and progress from there from time to time. Alhamdulillah we managed to do that. Segelintir of our customer, alhamdulillah. And bila when I ask Byte Realtors, diorang pun ada that objective in their group. Byte Realtors. Wow. Okay, so itu yang kita nak tanyakan for in this part tu lah, alhamdulillah. Okay, so what do you mean by asset progression? Kita tanya orang yang lagi pakar lah.
Dalam bidang ini
siapa? Yang nak kasih yang the ton apa?
Between the rows.
Akulah.
Okay.
Aku ton.
Kau ton apart. Alright.
Okay. First kali paling important kan, bila kita cakap pasal asset progression is actually upgrading ataupun bahasa Melayu peningkatan naik taraf.
Peningkatan naik taraf.
Kaedah aja.
Tu pasal dia punya Melayu ni aku rasa satu hari aku nak kena belajar.
Sampai tadi tengah break dorang tanya Kaedah dulu cikgu. Okay, so peningkatan. Okay, can you give some example of asset progression?
Okay, simple one. Bukan untuk asset property je just on upgrade itself. Okay. Upgrade macam is banyak orang fikir upgrade tu kirakan HDB condo. Okay. But it's actually different. Macam asset progression is actually you go from a 3-bedder to 4-bedder. Ataupun senang cakap lah, you ada handphone Nokia, ditukar iPhone. That's an upgrade itself. Okay. The thing is still the same, it's just a better thing. Okay. Macam you tadi you cakap Toyota going to Lexus. Okay, same brand but it's a better one. Or even pergi kantor tadi, pergi to a 7-seater Odyssey ke whatever. Odyssey, aku pun tahu pasal tu pada. So yeah, so it's upgrading in a sense of either space ataupun the price of the asset.
Faham.
Okay. So to go further in kan, we can actually let Kai talk about it lah.
Okay.
Kira dia tolak dalam
ah.
kira secara tiba-tiba
Secara rambang dia menolak.
Dia pass baton, dia terus kat Kai.
Aida, betul ke rambang tu? Betul ke masuk rambang?
Menolak dia macam secara tiba-tiba lah.
Oh, tiba-tiba.
Pasal kau dah makan aku pen line. Sebab tu kau tolak aku kan.
Okay.
Jadi Kai,
So
macam mana?
sambung dengan apa yang Is sebutkan tadi.
Okay.
So basically kita taruh diri kita, I put myself bila dalam umur 20-an.
Okay.
Dari saya baru kahwin, lepas tu semua baru nak naik apa? Baru dapat kerja, first kerja. So macam you talk about asset progression, normally at that stage in your 20s you tak banyak pilihan or you tak banyak funds.
Okay.
So you and your partner will be like macam cakap, yang tak apalah kita beli rumah paling kecil lah, apa yang kita mampu lah kan.
Okay.
So that point of time you are really tak ada choice, you just get apa yang ada dan you just make do dengan rumah
Apa yang korang ada lah. Ya.
So bila konsep or ideology of asset progression means dalam kalau berbual pasal HDB lah, so minimum the MOP we all know ada 5 tahun.
Betul.
So kalau what you want to do after the 5 years, so dalam 5 tahun tu you ubah pasal gaji akan naik.
Betul.
Husband dengan wife.
Betul.
So gaji naik bermakna semuanya dia punya in terms of dia punya kemampuan pun boleh naik. So tetapi at the same time asset progression ni is quite complex. Dia bukan macam simple. Actually dulu sebelum buat property aku tak faham apa asset progression. Apa sih ni asset progression? So but kalau to break down simply macam is mentioned is an upgrade. So sama ada rumah ke, sama ada space ke. Kalau rumah buat pasal space atau buat pasal daripada public ke private punya rumah lah. So sama juga macam you always have this thing yang macam you rasa kalau kita break it down lah, kemampuan dengan ataupun keinginan. So kadang-kadang kita macam salah lah. Actually kemampuan
but do you
tu
guys filter that? Pasal macam you guys will face customer macam klien macam kita kan. Dia ni betul mampu atau dia betul-betul just
Ingin.
ikutkan nafsu.
Yeah.
You know
Yes.
atau nak menuju.
Correct,
You know,
correct.
have you ever like do you guys always filter down to that?
correct. So it's very important kalau duduk tu kita memahami. So kalau kita duduk dalam tu first, kita panggil first meet up ke first presentation, kita akan tanya okay, apa yang family you perlu, require dan apa yang family you atau you inginkan. So we want to kahwinkan ni dua kalau boleh.
Okay.
Keinginan dengan kemampuan lah. Tapi kadang-kadang tu mungkin example lah. Kau nak share ke?
Yeah.
Okay,
sorry.
kalau boleh apa yang Kai dah cakap, Aida nak tambah sikit throughout this yang bekerja dalam ejen hartanah ni dari segi asset progression ni ada tak semua orang yang akan berpindah daripada rumah HDB pergi pada rumah private.
Betul.
Tak semua.
Tak semua. Ada satu case ni a client of mine itself. What happened is I'm actually very impressed lah with this client because it's like dia seorang suri rumah tangga.
Okay.
Hanya suami saja bekerja.
Okay.
Anak 4 orang.
Oh macam Iz lah.
Macam Is.
Oh bukan.
Tak, Is lebih satu. Is lebih
Oh
satu.
mungkin that time cuma 4 je.
is ganas.
So jadi dorang ni tinggal dalam rumah flat HDB 5 bilik.
5 bilik.
Tapi apa yang bagus pasal dorang ni, dorang berfikiran jauh. Dorang pentingkan, dorang rasa dorang tak perlu tinggal dekat rumah private. Tapi dorang pentingkan dari segi apa yang akan perjalanan anak-anak punya persekolahan dan sebagainya. So apa yang dorang lakukan, dorang masih tinggal dekat rumah 5 bilik ni. Tapi dorang beli rumah private tapi hanya one bedder saja. In fact nama saja one bedder. Dorang tak ada pun bilik fizikal dalam that development.
Okay.
So
jadi
basically am I right to say 7 orang duduk kat rumah tu lah?
betul, rumah 5 bilik.
Okay.
Bukan kan? So
No,
5 bilik ada, private
Private
pun
ada.
ada.
Faham.
Oh,
Okay.
tapi
So I thought sorry I thought dia jual 5 bilik dia beli.
Oh, tak,
Tidak,
tak,
tidak
tak.
Hafiz, tidak.
Tidak. Itu
Dia ada
agak-
rumah 5 bilik dan juga ada private.
Okay. So what happened to that private
So
property yang dia
private
ada?
property tu
What he do?
dorang actually rent it out.
Rent it out.
Yes.
smart,
And the good thing about them is dorang beli development yang baru direct from developer. Jadi dari segi pembayaran pun
Tunggu
tak
TOP, tunggu apa
betul,
semua.
tak begitu memberatkan. So it's like pembayaran pun cara
Ansuran lah. Ya.
progressive payment lah.
So diorang
Tapi
punya
boleh-
HDB tu
Sorry, Pat.
aku
Boleh-
rasa sama question.
Sama
Kau
kan?
tanya, kau tanya.
Okay. Nama. Boleh ke diorang have
Same.
two property under, I mean, one person name kata two person's name.
Mate,
Pasal at that point of time it's like dorang fully paid dorang punya HDB dulu. Dah bayar habis barulah dorang beli rumah private
So
tu.
it's possible lah.
Betul.
It's possible.
Yang penting kat
Okay,
sini,
okay.
okay sorry yang penting kat sini kalau you want to do that kind of asset progression, to hold on to your HDB at the same time beli, lepas tu beli dia punya private, boleh. Tapi the HDB punya regulation require, example your husband dengan wife.
Betul.
So only husband will be put as owner.
Okay.
So wife you tak boleh put as owner, you put as occupier.
Betul.
Jadi kau pandai kau
Tak ada lah.
Kau
Baru
punya-
jawab
kau punya-
occupier dah pandai.
Pasal dia kan tengah ambil dia punya course sekarang.
Okay, guys, but just to echo on that pasal what Aida has to spoke about, I did the same thing.
Okay.
Okay.
I beli BTO dekat Punggol walaupun I insider. I bought a place in Punggol pasal itu yang kita mampu at that point of time.
Okay.
So I bought that house 4 bedder. That time anak 1. Dah 2, sorry. Dah lupa anak banyak.
Ya. Forum.
Four bedder for private kan. Okay, maaf semua ingat kalau rumah
rumah tu HDB lah.
kalau rumah HDB panggil 4 bedroom, 3 bedroom, 5 bedroom.
4 room dengan 4 bedder is private. 4 room is HDB lah.
okay.
So I bought 4 room.
Okay.
Lepas tu when I become an agent, first thing I did was I sold my own house.
Okay.
Dah jual macam biaya lah nak asset progression.
Okay.
Cuma it came to my attention after talking to the rest of kawan-kawan semua kan. Mereka cakap memang it's true lah, you want to do asset progression, tapi with the amount of money you ada tu, important lah calculation kan. The amount of money I have, I can buy most probably a 2 bedder.
Okay.
Tapi I dah anak 2 dengan my wife 4 person.
So you need space lah.
Yeah, space. So for me, space is more important. So this is where the intention is more important lah. And then since our kids was in primary school at that point of time, kita want to stay in that area. Pasal kita baru start all the routes. So ada orang fikir kalau kita nak accept position, kita kena tinggalkan semua just to get it done. So what we are telling you is actually we can get everything together. Macam kau cakap lah, mengkahwinkan kedua-dua lah. Yeah. So for me, I bought a 5 bedroom, the biggest I can get in Punggol, at a very good price.
Okay.
And plan for the future lah, which is asset progression. So myself as the owner, wife as occupier. So when the time comes, when everything is correct, we can go do the next move lah. Yeah. So again lah, if we want, we have to practice what we preach.
Betul.
Yeah, betul lah. So that's why we also want the community to understand, hey, walaupun korang fikir tak boleh, duduk dengan kita lah.
Yeah.
We will show you the numbers and tell you whether can be done or cannot be done.
Yeah. Pasal the typical mindset that I think I experience myself and some of kita punya surrounding, apa yang kita tahu usually bila pasal yang isteri, sorry kak bila kita tak letak nama dia orang tu kat dalam rumah tu dah, nanti besok-besok macam mana dia apa-apa jadi, that's what happened to me. So alhamdulillah
Kalau aku tak apa, aku cakap tak ada mesti tak ada punya.
belum kahwin.
Kahwin boleh nak cakap bro.
Okay, so for me myself, alhamdulillah, after yang tadi yang uncle yang aku cakap tu yang pasal batu tu, then I was buying my second house yang ini, alhamdulillah I managed to talk to my wife lah about where is the direction gonna be like lah. So alhamdulillah, I think it's the same thing as per yang you guys are explaining. And tapi kalau you guys nak tahu lebih, aku ni hari ni aku tak kasih dorang cakap lebih-lebih.
Yes.
Pasal kalau korang nak
Kita
tahu
tahan.
pasal sama. Even kereta, korang tanya aku banyak-banyak, aku tak layan sangat. Korang nak, korang turun. It's fair because I know the worth. Aku be very blunt because they know their stuff. It's very hard for us to preach through the phone.
Correct.
Through the phone korang tak akan faham. Korang nak kena turun, dorang nak kena lay down. CPF korang nak kena pakai berapa cash yang korang perlukan. Macam mana korang nak see yourself in 5 years time or 10 years time. So diorang can plan for you.
Kau pun pula dah macam sebelah sana duduk.
Bro,
Dah macam dah ejen rumah.
Pasal no, because why I really engage you guys and really berbual dengan you guys to be part of our sponsors because the direction that we have is aligned. We are Two Brothers Motor, kita pun tolong kita punya customer to get like Toyota Wish with 0 down payment, 1.5 years dia dapat 14,000 out of the car. So dia upgrade to a puff car. So same goes to you guys, in 5 years time, and you guys want to have like macam satu customer that selalu cari korang every 5 years, you know.
Repeated
So that's
customer
what
lain
we
sah.
want, you
Yeah.
know. So dalam your experience in this asset progression or dengan kaedah, you know, with you 14 years in the industry, have you ever had yang satu client you yang has been like, you know, repeated customer
Always
of
be coming
yours?
back to you
Oh,
lah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, definitely
Ada.
ada. In fact, ada 2-3 orang yang macam itu. So
Alhamdulillah.
these are the people yang kita will keep very close contact with,
Okay.
because kita jaga dorang punya asset ni lah. Dan kita mesti sentiasa berikan dorang nasihat yang bernas lah.
Betul, betul. Kadang-kadang benda-benda ni dia sama macam kereta tau. Pakai konti susah tau. Rabak, BMW. Tapi pada orang tu tak pakai
Tak
BM.
bawa, ya.
You know. So kalau you guys nak tahu lebih lanjut pasal property, korang jangan jumpa tu brothers.
Betul.
Korang nak kena jumpa baik realtors.
Yes.
Nampak?
Nampak.
Timing.
Yes.
Yes.
Nampak guys.
Berselit baik.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so apakah what are some factors that you can basically to execute a successful asset progression? What are the factors to determine lah for you to have a successful
Asset progression lah.
Asset progression,
Yep.
Okay, I cakap lagi lah. Boleh.
Boleh.
Tak boleh.
Suka hati kau lah.
Tak, bukan selalu kau depan hidup. Okay, actually there's 4 important characteristic empat yang paling important. So I'll talk about the first 2 lah. First 2 sekali yang important sekali kita pay age.
Age.
Very important. Okay, age. And second yang intertwine dengan dia is korang punya gaji. Okay. So they always put a few things yang these 4 things is always intertwine. So the age and the gaji kena
Kahwin lah macam tadi Kai cakap kan, nak kena dorang nak kena kahwin.
Bergabung. Bukan intertwine.
Intertwine, kita tahu inter apa kita tahu?
Intermittent. Sikit-sikit lah, kira sikit-sikit.
Lepas tu dah bergabung kan, tu kita kasih Kai gabungkan lagi yang lain.
Dia intertwinekan kau Kai.
Dia kira kaitkan juga.
Berkaitkan juga.
Mengait lah.
Kai boleh naikkan sikit. Sorry.
Oh, maaf
Sorry. Ya.
Dia turun lagi
Ya,
lah.
turun lagi ya. Okay, ya. Alright.
Okay,
Better.
so
Aku tolong pegang lah.
tak apa. Jadi Is mention dia cakap ada 4, so dia dah mention 2. So umur dengan gaji.
Okay.
So that one is first dengan second. So nombor 3 dengan nombor 4 is CPF, nombor 3, nombor 4 is loan. Okay. So kalau I can give an example lah. So kalau let's say you are in your 30s range or late 30s or dah nak masuk 40s, selalunya you punya CPF combined husband and wife in your OA is about 200 to 300,000.
Okay.
So that is the CPF So I dah sekarang point number 3 kan. So sekarang I masuk point number 4. So the same thing, let's say kita ambil 200,000 dalam CPF. Okay. So now kalau you beli HDB loan is 80%, 20% is CPF dengan cash.
Okay.
So letak that 20% is the 200,000. So kalau you nak beli HDB loan, so you just ambil 200,000 tu times 4 lah. So technically you can afford to buy a property up to 1 million. HDB up to 1 million. Times 200,000 right? So times 5. So kalau same konsep 200,000 dalam CPF, tapi sekarang you berbual pasal bank loan. Bank loan daripada 80% become 75%. So technically kalau sekarang HDB you boleh beli 1 million. Tapi bank loan pasal is 75%, you can only buy a private property up to 700 berapa ya? Aku punya math sekali boleh tertinggal pula.
Aku agak juga.
800,000. So 4 kali ganda of 200,000 lah.
Correct.
4 times lah.
4 times lah. So now CPF dah tie dengan loan. Tapi loan is also dependent on patah balik dekat Is punya first point dengan second point. Age dengan gaji. So sekali datang balik age dengan gaji tak dapat dia punya loan yang nak beli 200,000 punya rumah ke atau 1 million punya rumah. So all these 4 components, lagi sekali umur, gaji, CPF dengan you punya loan is very important characteristic or component untuk menentukan your asset progression is going to be a solid one.
Faham. Am I right to say lagi muda start the better lah?
Yes.
Memang
Betul
correct.
Betul
But
tak?
at the same time when you muda pun kalau you bawa pasal blue collar lah macam orang biasa kerja biasa gaji, your gaji is also start daripada
Rendah.
kecil rendah dulu lah. So unless you maybe ada cash savings much earlier ke, or your parents dah save for you, so that component will help you to start earlier you punya property journey.
Faham.
Ni I tambah sikit lah
Okay.
All these 4 things kan, banyak orang the mindset out there is that bila aku boleh jual rumah aku 450,000, tapi aku tak boleh beli rumah above 450,000 what? Pasal aku jual 450,000 apa? So that's the wrong one. So with all these 4, if you can see kan, you pay umur, you pay gaji, you pay CPF punya loan is the one that determine rumah apa yang you boleh beli. So it's no longer 450,000. Sekarang you dah after 5 years gaji you dah besar, dah meletup lah kan. Bini pun dah kerja, you pun kerja, CPF pun dah kuat. Most probably you can buy $1 million house.
Faham.
Because we've met a lot of people yang aku tinggal 3 bilik, mana aku boleh beli private property? Cek kira boleh beli private property.
Yalah, ini yang orang-orang yang tak tahulah.
Pasal orang layman macam kita ni, kita we just need to find, kita sakit kita jumpa doktor.
Betul.
So kalau kita nak tahu lebih lanjut, macam saya cakap, you get a competent one, because a competent property agent or real estate agent is very important guys, because aku sendiri experience a very bad experience throughout my transaction.
Yang mana first rumah kau?
First rumahku pergi yang second yang sekarang aku duduk tu.
Correct.
Pasal tak call baik.
Apa yang dia dah tunjukkan
Belum pergi jumpa korang.
masa tu belum jumpa. belum ada apa ni Two Brothers Motor.
Yes. So disclaimer guys, saya bukan tak ambil dorang, okay? Masa tu dorang belum bagi kenal each other.
Masa tu aku masih kerja safety lah. So bila seseorang tu tahu aku nak jual rumah, dia kenalkan dengan kawan dia. Okay, so itu yang aku ambil dia. Lepas tu terus
Siapa
tak boleh. Okay. So dia dah tunjukkan how much I should be getting. Okay. Tapi bila aku nak dapat cash proceed aku tu on the day of completion dia nak kasih check, aku tengok apa pasal depan satu depan satu. Dia 5 digit depan satu.
Cash proceed apa? Kira kau dapat balik Okay.
So aku macam aku jual 4 bilik BTO dapat belasan ribu je. Shortfall of 16 to 19,000 of whatever yang dia dah janji aku. So aku bingit masa tu tengah
panas petang.
Kau turun. Baik-baik aku abang pergi abang balik. Kau turun. Oh yes Hafiz, abang sekarang dekat memang kat depan HDB tengah tunggu, I want to meet. Kau jumpa aku kat tengah-tengah yang meja bulat ada pasu tu. Kau jumpa aku kat sana. Dia sampai belum sampai aku memang campak tu check. Aku terus terang pasal aku was super, because aku nak pergi jumpa CFO kat rumah ni. Macam mana aku nak jawab, because
berapa kau dapat?
Because I sell before MOP. And he assured me that kalau kau dapat jual before MOP, kau dapat play around with the numbers and all that lah. So itu kekurangan, itu satu. And then the punya communication with the rumah, the agent punya rumah yang aku nak beli tu pun was not there, sampai aku yang nak kena halau that owner lah yang tinggal kat rumah aku sekarang ni. Itu yang that was a very bad experience. Tapi bila when I spoke to them, you know, they experience this kind of thing, tapi you guys get to overcome. How do you guys really overcome this kind of
Kejap, before that boleh ke kita jual rumah before MOP?
Boleh.
Boleh
Tapi mesti ada sebab-sebab yang tertentu lah.
Betul.
Bernas
Orang kata a valid reason.
A valid reason. So kalau korang nak tahu apa valid reason yang aku letak, korang call lah. Call aku. Tapi aku tak akan bilang korang nak korang call. Diorang sponsor bukan free.
Yes.
Kalau korang nak korang call. Pasal from after telling them my story, diorang tahu how to do it. And they know how to tackle this thing. And if you guys don't want to experience like how aku experience, because it's super scary. Because you get to face your wife and to tell her, ada shortage. So again, siapa yang boleh jawab? If just maybe you guys can just macam shorten it up. How do you guys can overcome this thing, and how can you assure the listeners that this thing will not, and you know how to kita buy real things.
Betul.
I think the most important one is, as we always kita repeat banyak kali tu kita punya client. Ada 2 benda yang paling important. Satu, the finances. Dia kira-kira. Second, the timeline. Hafiz kena dua-dua.
Betul.
Dia betul Mesway, dia kena
Betul.
dua-dua kan?
Betul.
Okay, so part kira-kira sometimes when orang kira-kira tu kan, dia ada certain things yang we must pay to the government. Macam stamp duty, legal fees.
Betul.
Okay, so bila you kira-kira macam secara kasar, memang you kira memang sedap lah ni, dapat berapa puluh ribu. Tapi tu stamp duty maybe for $500,000 house is what, close to 5 digit, 10,000 to 12,000.
Betul.
Habis duit terbang. Legal fees $1,000 to $2,000 terbang gitu macam. So when we do a final calculation, the most important one, tak kisahlah apa agent you ambil, tapi ambil kita lah kalau boleh.
Nampak? Ya, itu memang terang-terang confirm. Okay.
Tapi paling important is when they do the calculation for you kan, it has to be transparent. Semua dia list kan. Okay, maybe kita kadang-kadang macam apa, nagging to the client lah. Kita bilang ni gini sekarang kau punya cash deposit gini macam je tau. You must understand, you want to move on. Pasal always when kita fikir pasal apa, when they move to the new house, cash deposit tu cukup tak untuk dia buat renovation? Cukup tak untuk bayar benda-benda yang perlu?
Betul.
Kan nak moving everything. Kali kalau setakat 10,000, most of us will tell you
Jangan jual lah.
Jangan jual lah, tak ada point. Seriously
Pasal
tak ada
the
point.
amount is not, kira tak berbaloi lah.
Tak justified lah. It's not justified.
And then the timeline portion is kita kena kira tahu the government policy. Certain things will take 3.5 months, certain things take 1 month. Lepas tu kalau korang cakap suka ni rumah, beli je lah. Sekali agent tu cakap pasal extension 3 bulan after the completion. 3 bulan kau nak tinggal mana?
Betul.
So for us it's very important that we, as we say again, we want to find you a home, not a house. Semua orang can buy you a house.
Correct.
Kalau korang nak pun korang boleh acah-acah try beli. But banyak orang kat luar tu when they try to do their own, diorang complain duit aku kurang, cash deposit tak dapat. Macam for Hafiz punya case, rumah tak dapat on time. So important that when you take an agent, they will actually be covering you, shouldering all this for you.
Correct.
As long as diorang bilang you gini macam korang beli kereta lah. Orang beli kereta korang cakap ini I bilang you I beli kereta ini, I jual dengan you, ni ada chance nak kena tukar the brake in about 6 months. It's our duty to tell you it's due diligence lah. So for that portion, I think for your case, I tak tahulah siapa tu yang buat kan, untuk you lah.
Siapa apa
Tapi macam aku cakap, aku be very blunt. If I think they are not competent, they won't be here. Because kita filter down. I think Kak Aida pun tahu. I did ask tau a few yang nak sponsor kita.
Correct.
Siapa dah ni? Tapi kita, I think I still get back to
Bike
them.
Realtors,
It's not pasal Kak Aida is our customer, Two Brothers punya customer. No, because the direction is the same. To assist, dia bukan just nak jual beli rumah, tapi nak tolong korang nak progress from there. Okay. So insyaAllah, alhamdulillah kita dah sampai penghujung. 30 minutes, that was super fast. Kita tak dapat nak cover semua, masya-Allah. Tapi guys, kita akan ada interview lagi dengan diorang. For sure we will bring up some of the content. Let me ask around what are the problems or the experience yang seller atau buyer kat luar sana ada, then we invite them again. Maybe in a month or two, doakan kita supaya kita dapat share.
Tapi ringkas je lah dia punya explanation, because if you guys want to know more, it's better to meet them in person. Right, so they can really tibakan all the explanation.
Nak jumpa diorang in person bila?
Yes.
Okay, so you can meet them over at Singapore Expo Hall 6. Which booth Kai?
Kita akan berada di booth J27.
J27.
So location of the booth macam kalau nak senang cari, just look out for sign to Sirah Exhibition ataupun Rasulullah Artifact. So kita punya booth is betul-betul kat daerah situ lah. So just come to our booth lah.
Macam I cakap, you guys kalau pergi sana pun korang jangan expect aku terus nak jual aku punya rumah. No, you guys have a seat with them, talk with them, what is your problem, what is your requirement, what is your need. Okay, that is most important thing. And then they will advise you accordingly. You will see Kak Aida over there, East, and our Mr. Kai over there, insyaAllah. Okay, so 1 to 3rd of March 2024 from 10 AM to 10 PM. Hall 6 guys. Hall 6.
Booth J27.
And kita pun akan buat live on the 1st of March.
Correct.
Okay, insyaAllah in the morning before solat Jumaat lah, insyaAllah.
Right.
Okay, I will see you all soon. Doakan kita, doakan semua supaya dirahmati, diberkati, dilindungi Allah.
Amin.
I will see you guys soon. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.